guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Loki Kia in Clearwater, Florida. And guess what? I have that one redesigned, all new compact sedan, and it's got a turbo pack punch. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Kia K4. This particular one is the GT line turbo. But before we get into this blacked out sporty compact sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. So Forte is dead. No more Forte. It's being replaced with the Kia K4. Just like the Kia Optima is dead and long gone, but there's a Kia K5. So they're kind of switching to this K, the letter K, and a numerical number associated with it. Now, when it comes to the K4, there is no actual GT, which is kind of weird, because they do have a K5 GT, but you can get your GT line two different ways. Regular way is a naturally aspirated engine and a CVT. Or you could go this route with turbocharged power and no CVT. But what I want to find out is this the most affordable compact sports sedan that you should be buying? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, the color, you may just call it black. It's actually called Aurora Black, and it does kind of give a little bit more attitude to this K4. At the front of the business, you'll notice how they're doing their headlight style on the K4. LED daytime running lamps, stacked LED headlights in there, and your turn signals. One of the things I can't stand is what they did here. What is this? I don't even know. They could have put some LED fog lamps in here. They could have made it a functional air scoop, something other than what it is, because it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm definitely gonna zonk that. But actually the rest of it looks really good. Now, as we come across the front, you do have that tiger nose grille, very thin on the upper grille, forward facing camera, a little bit of bright shiny metalwork, functionality up top, functionality down below with that flat gray splitter up front. But nice, sporty and angular. You know, it matches the style that Kia is bringing to their whole lineup. When you compare this to, say, the sister brand, the Elantra N-Line, that would be comparable. You could also throw in there the Civic Si, believe it or not. Even though the Si may not have as many amenities, it does have that extra performance from the 6-speed manual. But let me know what you think about the face of this K4 GT line turbo. Now, as we rise up, nice smooth hood, just a couple body lines, that's it. They didn't go crazy like on the Elantra. The Elantra looks like an origami, like one of those little swans that you go like this and it flaps its wings. This, it's modern, but it's tame compared to the Elantra. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? You're gonna notice these gloss black wheels, 18-inch wheel, and tire size 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall. This is a front-wheel drive vehicle, not all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. What's nice about this being Aurora Black is that the gloss black that's around the fender opening matches. Normally, if say this was white, you would have the gloss black around the fender openings, and that just kind of ruins the look. Nice the way everything is super clean together. Coming down the side, you got your painted on your mirror caps, a little bit of that silver trim on the support for your side mirror, turn signals built in, and you do have 360-degree cameras. From the side, compact sedans are growing, and this definitely has a little bit extra length compared to some of the competition. Up top, you are going to get a panoramic sunroof, which is really nice, and then you do have a little bit of bright, shiny metalwork only along the bottom. Coming towards the rear, this is the part I don't understand. This just looks kind of weird, so I am going to zonk the quarter glass. They hide the door handle in the actual door frame, give that rear door some nice style. When you see this car, the new version 2026 coming out, that's a hatchback, this part makes a lot more sense. On the sedan, it sort of looks like an afterthought. I've never seen a quarter window where it just ends like that, kind of bizarre. But as we come towards the rear and we swing it around, I do love the way without the door handle, it's a nice smooth transition from the passenger door into the rear. This isn't a Sportback, it actually has a trunk, but like I said, with it being totally black, everything is nice and seamless. Working our way down, you got your LED taillights, very angular, very modern, GT line badge, no turbo badge. I want a turbo badge. If you're paying more for the turbo, give me a badge, damn it. Kia badge out back, and then one of the funkiest lower rear diffusers, no exposed exhaust, which is kind of a bummer. So it's like it's close, but I just want a little bit more. Am I being greedy? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, we're not there yet. If you are new to the channel, the next thing we're gonna look at is we're gonna pop the hood. So let's check out underneath the hood and see this turbocharged power. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Underneath the hood is the only place you're gonna see it. Turbo is under the hood. Now what do we have? It's a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4 producing 190 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, no manual transmission available. 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. Top speed around 130 miles per hour. MPGs 26 in the city, 36 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,285 pounds. So interesting how this actually has less horsepower than the outgoing Forte, which is kind of surprising. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Kia K4 GT Line Turbo. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, I do want something sporty. I do want something that has some nice tech and some amenities. How much is this K4 GT Line Turbo? Very good question. MSRP for the way this one is spec'd is $32,000. But let's see what you really get when you go K4 GT Line Turbo. To the door panels, love the two-tone, the dark red with the black. You'll notice right by the door handle, easy access buttons for 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats, no gloss black anywhere. And then you have the Harman Kardon sound system and a door pocket that's a little on the tight side. So you're gonna have to keep it to just 2 Egg McMuffins and a large orange juice to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch. I like the way they did this trim here. Really nice with a little bit of design. They painted this a gray finish rather than gloss black. Slide on in, you got 2, count them, 2 12.3-inch screens, 1 for the infotainment system. You do have the ability to adjust your AC on this center portion here. And then you could also do it on the screen itself over here, which is nice. So you choose. Nice graphics there. That looks pretty cool. And then we're right back where we started. Of course, you're gonna have all your familiar icons and apps. That goes without saying. Let me go ahead and throw it in reverse. Backup camera, great resolution, 360 trajectory. Watch this. Boop, 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 boop. There we are, sitting in the parking lot. And then we're right back where we started. Real switch gear for your volume, for your infotainment. You got also real switch gear for your AC controls, the dual climate. Down below you got 2 USB-Cs, a 12-volt wireless charging. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic, and you do have a start-stop button right on the other side of the shifter base in the center console. 2 large cup holders, watch this. Wham, bam, thank you ma'am. There's your 2 cup holders. You got your Kia key fob. Soft touch, lift it up, you got enough room. If you like to have nuts in your mouth, you could put a 1-pound bag of cashews in there. I love cashews. Absolutely love them. I also love pistachios, almonds, walnuts. Steven is a honey roasted kind of guy. Extra salty. Seats. Soft touch, GT line embossed, a 2-tone, manual adjustment for the passenger, but guess what? I have electric adjustment because I'm the driver, and there's that panoramic. Well, not really panoramic, it's just a sunroof, so that's a zonk. I thought it was a panoramic sunroof. But why don't you come over here? Let's see if I know. I'm not even gonna say I see. I know the K4 will redeem itself. Come on over here to the business side. I want to show you behind the wheel in this GT line turbo. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Right away, the K4 redeems itself. This is what I'm talking about. Aluminum brake, aluminum throttle, and that's what we call an aluminum dead pedal. See how it matches and it looks good? You got your power seat control with that lower lumbar. Feels good in my back. I'm 6 feet tall. Compact sedans aren't so compact anymore. I promise you that. Steering wheel, two-tone, very interesting horn button there. You do have your drive mode selector button right in the middle. 2 modes, it's real simple, normal and sport. Flat black on the switch gear, pedals on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 8-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting telescoping wheel. And then of course we have our digital gauge cluster. We got the blind spot cameras. Kia is redeeming itself over here for the K4. Really love that. And then of course you got a mini cornucopia of information in the center there, which is nice as well. No head-up display in the GT line turbo. But let's get in the back seat and see if your passenger is going to have enough room to go be sporty with you in this compact. All right, guys, back seat time. And like I said, you know, just like the Civic, just like the Corolla, there's lots of room in these back seats. Actually, more room back here than in a Corolla, but very similar to what the Civic has. No pocket on the back of the seat for the driver. USB-Cs, a place for 2 Twinkies, and we have AC vents. Love that. I do have a cargo net over here for a pocket. I am going to zonk it because if I take my Ginsu knives and put them in here, it's going to rip right through it. That's going to be sad. But I love the two-tone everywhere. Pull this bad boy down. Soft. 2 cup holders. Oh, my OCD is really acting up right now. Oh, I feel better. Oh, God, I feel better. All right. So not too bad on the back seat. Let's get in the trunk because I want to take it for a spin in this GT line turbo. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. I like the way they hide the button right in the black trim on our black K4. Pop it open. You got 14 cubic feet of space. Seats do fold down 60-40 split. And let's see if we have it. Oh yeah, we got a spare. So nice to see on this compact sports sedan. But if you're ready, this guy's ready. I know Steven's ready too. Why don't we go ahead, let's all hop in and go for a spin in our GT line turbo. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2025 Kia K4 GT line turbo. Right away, what I love in here is just how easy it is to get to everything. The infotainment system, you got multiple ways to adjust the AC. Obviously, there's nothing like good old-fashioned toggle switches. And the fact that we have heated seats and ventilated seats is phenomenal. Now, out the windshield, it's a little bit tight visibility-wise, but I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue because you got great side mirrors. And what's even better is we have those blind spot cameras, which are a real blessing. I have it in sport mode. Nice that they just have 2 different modes. That's it. And then having the turbocharged power with the 8-speed is really the way to go. I'm going to take the shift lever, pull it over to my leg, and now I could use the paddles and manually shift. You have a small gear indicator on the lower portion of the screen by the coolant gauge. They did a great job with the sound deadening material. The chassis rigidity feels good in here, and the seats are superb. And then of course you could scroll through the information real simply in the center there. Nothing too exciting to look at, but it is nice to be able to choose what you want to have displayed. But we're in first gear and we're going to go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. So brake traction just a little bit. Nice, fast, smooth shifts from the 8-speed automatic. And just really is a nice driving experience. You have some sportiness, but it isn't too aggressive. You have more amenities than what a lot of the competition has, especially with the heated and the ventilated seats, and you have turbocharged power. My thing is, it would have been nice if they would have had a little bit more than 200 horsepower and then just call this the GT. not the GT Line Turbo. But like I said, everything is well laid out with the technology in here. And the seats are very, very comfortable and supportive. Even the way that you're able to easily read the information, look at that blind spot camera, looks fantastic. And then of course we're gonna zoom around here. On throttle, here we go. You brake traction a little bit because it is front wheel drive, but we are off to the races. And then like I said, you just hit that center button to go into normal mode. The modes are going to adjust how the transmission and the engine behave with one another, and it's also going to adjust steering sensitivity and throttle sensitivity. I'm going to go ahead and keep it in sport mode. I think most people are going to drive this kind of car that way. Visibility out the back is good. And just everything is just well laid out in here. And I think you're going to really appreciate that. You know, when you look at the Civic Si is great, but I mean, you got cloth interior, manual transmission, which I'm happy about, but I know a lot of people don't want a manual transmission. And it's just lacking some of the amenities. But the Civic Si does give more performance, definitely in the handling department, and it has a limited slip diff. This does not have a limited slip diff whatsoever. But it does have the better technology and the better interior. So it's like one of those things. Compromise, right? Let's see how it goes on throttle when that light turns green. On throttle, here we go. Nice shifts from the 8-speed, both up the gears and going down the gears. And then like I said, when it comes to handling, it does a really, really good job. And just those blind spot cameras are a heaven send. They really, really are. Suspension is tuned nicely. It's not too aggressive or bouncy. It's not going to shake your internal organs, but it's also, you know, direct. So when you do make a turn, you're going to be able to communicate well with what the car is doing underneath you. But like I said, if you want the utmost in driving pleasure and that driving engagement, Civic Si is the way to go. But this is going to be the better daily, especially with all the amenities that it has. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the K4 GT Line Turbo is bringing for the money. We're going to get back to Loki Kia and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another day, another Kia here at Loki Kia. Definitely got to thank Robert and the rest of the crew getting us this 2025 blacked out K4 GT Line Turbo. Let me know what you think. Is this the best way to go for a compact sports sedan over the competition? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rice family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He's loving these cars. He doesn't care what it is. He just loves the film. Him and photography and videography is like peanut butter and jelly. He actually came out of the womb with a camera in his hand. His poor mother had to feel some extra pain. But anyways, thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.